bobbing ears, Getty Cotta. A bit rough around the edges this morning. I've stayed in the Central Motel at Mudgee. I've got to say, Mudgee was a bit unwelcoming. I got in about 5:45 last night, having never stayed or I know nothing about the ways of caravan parks. When I've gone camping, I've always just gone out in the bush and done it myself. I haven't stayed in caravan parks. So I didn't realise they've got office hours. Both caravan parks in town had voice messages saying that the office hours close at 5 p.m. Apart from that, when I went to have a look around there, they were absolutely packed. Everything was going down in town. There were people everywhere. And so I looked up free camping sites and I went down to the showgrounds. I saw a lot of caravans. And I went down there and it was something to do with the council. It said you had to pre-book. It was like a code you had to scan. And there were people everywhere. People camping, caravans. So there was a spot I suppose I could have set up my swag, but I'm glad I didn't in the end. I think they would have been noisy, and I think people would have been wandering around my swag while I'm trying to, feel secure and all that. So anyway, rang up one motel and they said we're full. So I started thinking about driving out of town and finding like a rest spot and setting up the swag just in a rest spot off the side of the road. But that comes with inherent dangers. I had no food to cook. So I rang the other and I got this Central Motel. And the guy said, yeah, I've got one double room. It's 145. I said, yeah, I'll take it. So I arrived here. It's supposed to be a budget motel. He probably pushed the price up. I said, what's going on? Why is there so many people here? He said, oh, it's a long weekend. Apparently it's Labor Day in New South Wales. So, yeah, there was, being a Monday night, there was no food. All the food places were pretty much closed. The pubs were open, but they were packed with people. Everyone wanted to sit outside, and I was just knackered. I did a lot of kilometres. I'm up near 1,000 kilometres now since leaving home. So yeah, I found Domino's, got a pizza, and I got a drink, and I came back. It was bloody hot in the room. There's no instructions in the room for the air conditioner or the TV or even for the Wi-Fi. Normally when you check in, they give you a page, or the page is already in the room, which tells you where the coffee and tea is, how to work the aircon. None of that. Went back down and asked for the Wi-Fi, and that worked okay. But geez, it was a hot night, and I started to, lots of noises. Some stage in the night I was sure that something was getting into the pizza box that I put in the bin in the corner of the room, and of course it would be mice. That was my conclusion. Having decided there were mice in the room, it made it extremely difficult to just roll over and go back to sleep. I was convinced the mice were getting into my food stash, and it's just tossing and turning until I got up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. I realised there's nothing in the box of pizza. There's nothing there. It's just the sounds of the motel room. So that was helpful. So I did get to sleep. So yeah, I spoke to Brian back home, and he said, look, it's important to get a good night's sleep when you're doing the distances you are. So you probably made the right decision staying in the motel rather than just finding somewhere to camp illegally and sleeping on the ground again, which the swag is suggesting that will be the way to go in the future. So today I'll at least be able to get to Gunnedah, which has connections to Harry Morant. It's about to go and film this rotunda. I did have a look around the gardens when I got into Mudgee last night. I was looking for around the Boer War Monument. Once I got onto my computer, it's a rotunda I've got to look for, and I did see in the distance in the gardens a rotunda. Fill up with petrol, go and do that, and then get on the road again. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm in shorts for the first time, and so far so good. Onwards we go, ever northwards. Could probably get to Tenterfield today if I wanted. It's 6 hours drive, but it depends how long I spend in Gunnedah. Alright guys, got plenty of Boer War monuments yesterday for you. I had a really good day of it, actually enjoyed myself yesterday. So alright, let's get going. Talk to you later. So we're back. Central Mudgee. And Greco-Roman council officers over there. In a pink stucco colouring. With a watchtower up the top. But we did come into this park last night in my moment of desperation. I was even thinking of Steve Wallace's channel on YouTube where he does stealth camping. Camp in the middle of a roundabout. I didn't go down that path. So this rotunda might be the one that was mentioned when I looked for Boer War monuments. A pink ribbon on it. It was opened in 1903, the rotunda, if this is it, for returned Boer War soldiers. I think this could be it. Maybe not. Maybe. Let's have a look. Oh yes, this is it. Okay. South African War, the Mudgee Volunteers, Reginald Belmore Cox, Hugh Trevor Jones and William Croom. The rotunda was opened in 1903. It's in pretty good condition. Sort of got soundproofing up the top there. I don't know why the, here we go, let's have a look. This was originally Market Square, has long been the focus of public meetings and celebrations. Changed to Robertson Park after Sir John Robertson, the member for Mudgee. It was built in 1903 in honour of Sir John Robertson and those who died in service in the Boer War. Right. Old Chetty Carter keeps finding them for you. For those of you that are vaguely interested. Look at this pink ribbon. But yeah, there seems to be soundproofing up there. Or maybe it's that old-fashioned ceiling, I don't know if it was made of. Well, they were like metal sheets that had a pattern on them that they used to use in the old houses in the Victorian era. Maybe that's what it is, but it looks to me like soundproofing. Alright, well that's good. It feels quite tropical in Mudgee. Your roving Boer War reporter is for the first time wearing shorts just after 7 in the morning. Gotta say, my legs are almost transparent. I'm reminded of when I got to Mafeking, jumped out of the car with excitement, and the African woman came over, and over there in South Africa you got to sign your car in all the time. These Africans got jobs at the gates to places, and their only job is to sign your rego in and your reason for visiting. So anyway, she came over to see what I was doing, and she was quite astounded at the colour of my skin, which was like milk. As I'd only been in South Africa less than a week when I drove over to Mafeking. That's a magnificent gum, isn't it? Looks a bit diseased though. There's bits breaking off it, but hanging in there. So yeah, got to look on the map, decide which town first on the way to Gunnedah. Got to say, not impressed with Mudgee and the reception last night. I don't know what was going on, why there were so many people here. As I said, glad I didn't stay in any of those caravan parks because they were packed. I think I got complacently the camping spot in Gunnedah was really good. I had room, didn't have anyone directly next to me, and I could charge up my devices. That was the other thing that the motel was good for, was, in this day and age, you need to charge your devices, including the one I'm recording on. Alright guys, I'll keep you informed.
The 2nd New South Wales Mounted Rifles had been operating in the Western Transvaal in late October 1901, and they received orders to go to Fabrieken, where they were rested and resupplied. Then they moved off to Wagondrift, 40 miles to the east of Pretoria, where they had a skirmish against Muller and Wolmarans. A patrol of B Squadron, the 2nd New South Wales Mounted Rifles, was responsible for the capture of Wolmarans. At Bachenlachter, they became part of Bruce Hamilton's flying column and wandered around for a week without seeing a single Boer. Then word came that Boers had been spotted at Middelkraal, about 16 miles away. So the following account is written by a member of the Corps who sent an account of events from Ermelo, Eastern Transvaal, under the date 28th of December 1901. Quote, "We came up with a Boer outpost at daylight of the 7th of December, and after following them for about a mile we came up with their main body when their fire began in earnest. The Boers were calculated to be 2,000 strong under General Louis Botha, Viljoen, Smuts and Delaray. They opened up on us with a Colt gun and a 15-pounder, the one captured from Benson. We fired nearly all our ammunition, and as the Boers, were beginning to make it too willing, we had to retire to a safe distance. We got within half a mile of their convoy, which must have numbered fully 500 wagons, and had them turned round when the B Squadron charged down on 28 wagons. Put a shell into them, which knocked Peter McCulloch of Albury and Corporal Cummings of Narrandera clean off their horses and lodged about 10 yards in front of them. The ground was too soft and the shell buried too far in the ground before it burst, or else these two men would not be alive today. They were covered all over with clay and dust. The corporal spoke first and said, 'Are you hit, Mac?' And when Mac replied in the negative, Cummins said, 'Jump on, up behind me, and let's do the bank.' McCulloch, having lost his horse when the concussion of the shell knocked him off, and the two galloped off and left the wagons alone. The other 6 men made good their escape long before and left the 2 men on the ground to move as best as they could. We then received orders to retire, which we did, and rested the next day. The following day, the 9th of December, we were reinforced by 500 West Australians, and taking 2 pom-poms, 2 12-pounders and 2 15-pounders, we started at 4 p.m. and travelled all night and came up with the Boers late next day after trekking 56 miles. The formation of the troops was B Squadron under Captain Forster, advance guard, A and E Squadrons, left and right flank guards, C and D Squadrons, supports, and the West Australians were the rear guard and support to the guns. The Boers opened fire from some koppies when our late lamented and deeply respected Captain Forster said, "There is a Boer convoy, and I want my squadron to have the honour of capturing it. I will take 4 men with me and lead the way." The 4 comprised of Corporal Cummings, Lance Corporal Edwards, Troopers Silcock and Archibald. They'd not gone 200 yards when the captain fell dead, shot through the heart. Edwards was knocked off, shot through the leg. Cummings' horse was shot in 3 places and fell dead. Cummins caught Captain Forster's horse, and turning the captain over, he raised his hat as much to say, "All is over with him." He then went and assisted Edwards to mount his horse, the bullets still falling around him. The other 2 men had taken shelter under rocks while all this was going on. Lieutenant Airy then took command and had not gone half a mile when he too was bowled over, hit in the groin, and 20 more also went down a little further on. Even this did not dishearten them, and at the wagons they went like wolves at their prey. The big guns then started to play on the Boer position, or else B Squad would never have captured a wagon, nor would one have come back alive, as the Boers would have shot everyone before they got in the wagons. Thus the captain's wish was carried out, but he did not survive to see them accomplished. We gave him a real soldier's burial. It's been reported that Corporal Cummins has been mentioned in dispatches for his coolness and bravery under fire. It is not the first time I've heard of or seen this light-hearted young Australian in difficult places, and it's a well-known fact among his regiment that he's always the first in a charge and the last out of it, and it's been noted that he will never leave a comrade behind in trouble. Our time expires on the 18th of February, when we will say adieu to bully beef and biscuits and Mauser bullets, and hope to join our old friends in New South Wales before Easter.
Pitch dark, not even a moon, couldn't see a thing. But a bet is a bet, and £50 is a hell of a lot of money. Mind you, I'd had a few drinks. Quite a few drinks. Anyway, there's the fence. Cast iron. 7 foot high. Spikes on the top, you know the kind. It was so dark I couldn't even see it, so we put some candles right on the top.
And you cleared it?
You've heard it before?
We've all heard it before.
Yes, I cleared it, and I won the bet. I paid off all my debts in, where the hell was it?
Gunnedah.
Yes, Gunnedah, thank you very much.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if it cut out or not, but I took the wrong turn, the phone dropped out, ended up doing an extra hour and a half in the car, an extra 100 kilometres before I got back onto the right road. But anyway, I was just telling you guys about this purple stuff before we go over and see the sign. I think that's Patterson's curse. It's a weed. It's dangerous for animals to eat. I pulled it out of the farm where I lived. I eradicated Patterson's curse. But anyway, here finally am. Yeah, this is the big one. Apart from Tenterfield, Gunnedah. Am I going to find any evidence of the breaker? Well, we know he was, I think, imprisoned here for being drunk and disorderly. In the movie, he claims to have jumped the fence on the horse in Gunnedah. Oh, just stood on thongs, and yeah, there's thorns all here. So I'm going to stay the night in the caravan park here. Last night's dash from Bathurst to Mudgee was a nightmare. So I'm going to have plenty of time to set up the swag, have a look around, ask some questions, and I don't have to bloody race, tomorrow to get to Tenterfield. That's brilliant, isn't it? Okay, we'll head off to the information centre to ask you for any information on the breaker, which I expect a blank expression. But you never know. We're actually near the courthouse. This is of interest. See how they park here? It started in Mudgee, and the other towns I've been through, they all park, they reverse park, right? makes it a little difficult. So, this thing we notice is a McDonald's, and it does have a war memorial. It's quite mild. I should say it's clouded and greyed over, but it was about 27 when I set up the camp. I've set up the swag. The camping site with power was 40 a night. Well, that's double what the Narandera one was, but it's also $100 less than that dumpy motel last night. So it's quite warm, but it is overcast. A bit of a cool breeze coming through, so I chose that camping ground because they got a pool. So look at this. So that is very generic. 16,000 served, 589 died of wounds, disease. It doesn't even list the local men, but let's not give up so rapidly. I did look on the internet, and it said that the Boer War Monument Gunnedah was permanently closed. I don't know what that means. Now, another thing which is of interest, a while ago, looking on the internet, there was a park area, and it had the Harry Morant section or bend or something, and I didn't quite understand what it was all about. But when I was waiting to pay the money for the campsite, there was a brochure for the Poet's Way. So on this drive, there's all sections of the drive dedicated to Henry Lawson, Banjo Patterson, various poets that were around here, but there was no Harry Morant. So have they taken him off? Alright, well, we'll wander around and see if we can find the tourist bureau, and I'll turn it on again when we get in there. Alright, I found the tourist centre, or the information centre. It would have been too far to walk, for sure. There's a big town hall there with a memorial arch which has names in it. Might walk around and have a look at that. I'll go in and see what they say. It's sort of borderline whether you'd want to swim or not when I get back to the campsite. Sort of hungry, but I'm not. Sort of thinking of cooking tonight, but then maybe just go to a restaurant or something. I don't know. Crike. Oh, that's a movie theatre. Oh, hello. I wondered if you had any information on the Breaker Morant being in town.
No, only what's there actually. There might be a little bit, I was going to say one of the history books, like that you can photocopy.
I'm wondering of the old courthouse or the old lockup or something?
No, there was nothing like that. He just lived here on a property. He used to break horses on a property.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with with been in jail or anything.
He wasn't arrested?
Yeah, no, nothing like that. He was
Oh.
been here, let's see.
There's a movie cinema as
So
well,
that,
isn't there?
yeah, and a gallery. So gallery in through there if you want to have a wander through the gallery.
Oh. I don't have my glasses
Harry
on.
Morant, there we go, 67, 68, 66, 67, 68. So if you want to have a look, it should just say.
Okay. Is there a dedicated Boer War monument now?
No, not. Oh, there is one out at not in Gunnedah. So this is for him. This is for him. When he was before he was in the army, he was here on a property as a horse breaker. So
Sure.
that's what it's about. Yeah. So there's nothing for. Yeah.
Pullaming Station.
So Pullaming. Yeah. So which is out at on the way to Breezer on the Sydney Road. Yeah, is what it is. So there's a bit of information about the Boer War. So it'll tell you that who was who as well. But that'll give you that. And there's also 68. Shoot straight, you bastards. Yeah.
So
there's
no monument or anything?
No,
Okay.
there's a wall for him that says about his connection to Gunnedah, but that's all. And that's in Wolseley Oval. Okay, so not Wolseley, sorry, Kitchener Oval. So it's the eastern side of town. On the way up to Tamworth, there's a football oval on the left-hand side.
Called Kitchener.
And when you go inside, it's just a board there that gives you a little bit of detail.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Cool.
so you can have a read of that, or if you like, I can photocopy it for you and you can take it with you.
Right. Well, it says here he did do some jumping over the fences. A horse over a high jump at midnight with candles for illumination. That's what he says in the film. And the Rattler. So he trained in the light horse. Pullaming. Well, he was here for several years. That's a Gunnedah man riding into battle. Don't know which battle it is. That's a Gunnedah man, Sergeant Frank Hamilton. '66, '67, '68, there were 3 pages. Okay. There's another local, Dave Martin. There's the memorial. Oh, it's at Kitchener Park, which the lady just mentioned. And there's the grave we went to. Okay. Alright, I'll put that back. Alright, so I'll leave that there for you. Once again, it's probably me getting confused. I thought I read on Wikipedia that he was arrested for being drunk and disorderly in Gunnedah. But the infamy seems to come from jumping the fence. I'll have to look again. It's surprising that he was here for a few years, breaking horses and being around this area. Surprised that he trained with the Australian light horse before heading to South Australia to enlist. Did he go from here down to Melbourne and then Melbourne across to Adelaide? And if so, how and why? Maybe he owed money here or something. You know, this is the big town hall. I'm thinking of getting something to eat. I'm thinking of going and having a swim. I'm thinking of crying. All those. It's just tough going, you know. And I can smell that rosemary real strong. It's tough going, and this is on first observation's a bit of a shithole. I could be wrong. But have a look in here, they got like a arch of men that served. Can't really read it. It looks like where the back of the cinema is. But these are the men that enlisted in the Great War. All handwritten. Yeah. All from the Great War. There's a pizza place over there, Terry's. Right. Maybe I'll go and get a pie. Alright, stay tuned. Corbinese. Hello, Chiricota. Just had my provisions for the evening. Had some bread rolls that I bought yesterday in Gunnedah. And I cooked up some bacon, barbecue sauce, some tomato, bit of cheese and a pickle. Yeah, I've got pretty well set up now, as you can see. Right, a lot better. What I've done is I've folded the doona in half. It gives me that strip along the side there to put my computer and my purse and all that sort of stuff. And it's relatively soft. There is a mat underneath the doona. It's about that thick already, so that's good. I'm charging up all my devices. Right. This day and age, you need to keep your devices charged. Got to have my music when I'm driving. A little gas cooker is fantastic. Yeah, it's perfect for making a brew. My billy. Yorkshire tea. So yeah, I was a bit down after I went to the tourist information, and also I did read the Wikipedia entry for Harry Morant, and I'm thinking of another place he was charged for drunk and disorderly, but he was always in trouble with the law. He was a real Jack the Lad sort of guy, you know, bouncing checks and cashing, you know, bad checks, leaving, owing money, making up stories about being robbed or having lost money and paying back, but never skipping town before he did. But I rewatched the clip from the movie, and it's to do with jumping the horse. Now, that lady at the tourist centre, she said that happened out at Kitchener Park. So we're going to go there in the morning. We're going to get up early, have a cup of coffee, and then get out of here. You know, the thing with this is I left Sunday morning. It's now Tuesday night, and I'm still at least 6 hours. If I was to drive without stopping, I'm 6 hours from Tenterfield. But I've got to stop at Tamworth, and there's another place, I can't remember the name, that I'm going to stop and do those monuments. And you know, as I discovered yesterday, I've got to be at the caravan parks before 5 PM. So it may be a push, but I should be able to do it. Then if I was to leave first thing Friday morning, start heading home, I don't know. Could be Monday morning before I get back. Although, probably not, because driving back there's not as many stops to make. I don't know. But the thing is, I don't have to get back to work. There's no rush. I can take my time. So, be home Sunday or Monday, I guess. And, yeah, getting used to it, you know. Having to think that in a week or 2 weeks' time this will all be old history. And, you know, I was finding it a bit hard this afternoon. I mean, I don't know what to do. It gets dark, what do you do in a caravan park? Right, you can't exactly pump up the music. Can't break out a bong. Get a fire going. You know, listen to some Judas Priest or some Wishbone Ash and smoke some cones. I can't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. So what do you do when it gets dark? I put the BBC on in the car. Have to keep it low. I could read a book, I suppose. There's no internet here. There's a park there next to me. I wanted a bit of shade when I set up. As I said, it was $40 for this site. That's including that's because it's powered. Where it was $20 in Naranda. I don't know. What do I know? So, yeah. After that night, last night in the motel with the imaginary mice scratching at the pizza box, I should sleep quite well tonight. It was spitting raining before. Some of the kids are over there in the swimming pool screaming it's cold, I've no doubt about that. I had a nice hot shower, washed my hair, and it stopped raining. Now I was spitting. My the canvas on my swag held up with the rain, so that's okay. So alright, I'll just ride out tonight and take it easy and enjoy the tranquility. And talk to you guys in the morning, and then we'll do Kitchener Park, and then next stop will be Tamworth after that.